Welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. My name is Paul Courtwright. Please feel free to share, subscribe, like, and hit that little hype button that's down below in the comment section. And let's see how we can get this channel to grow some more. Today we're going to do one of my whiskey smokers, bourbon smokers, whatever you call it. I'm doing a demo for the North Coast wood turners and the Buckeye wood turners. First, not this weekend, but next weekend, first weekend in May. So I thought I'd practice a little bit and bring you along for the journey. So I'll show you what I do, how I do it, and let's get started on it. So hang tight and let's go over to the saw. We'll cut out a blank and we'll get started. All right, so I got a piece of cherry here. We're going to use this. Figure out which one I use. I think I'll use this end here. And so basically what I'm going to do, and I got a pattern that I made of this one here. So it's like that. So I'm going to lay that pattern on here and we'll cut this out with the bandsaw and go from there. So I'm just going to trace around it. And then we'll go over to the bandsaw and cut that out. So hang tight and let's get over to the bandsaw and we'll cut that out. All right, so we're just going to cut this out real quick. So I guess I got to plug it in. Works better when bandsaw's plugged in, isn't it? I have a habit of unplugging everything before I leave the shop, just so that nobody can come down and start something and either break the machine or cut their fingers off or something like that. Because I got grandkids that run around the house a lot of times, so keeping them safe. All right, so let's cut this out. All right, got our blank cut out. I'm going to cut this off here. And all right, I'll save these scraps here. I'm going to put them in my box here because I'm going to do a little casting later with that. All right, so we got our blank cut out. Now let's go over to the sander and let's do a little sanding. So hang tight and we'll get started on that. All right, so I'm just going to do some sanding on this edge here and clean these edges up and we'll go from there. So here we go. sand it up. And I might look at that a little bit more to make sure it's all right, but let's get centered out and mark it. So hang tight. All right, so I got my handy dandy little centering ruler here. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the center of this. Well, I guess first of all, let's go 2.5 inches from this end here. So we're going to say 2.5 inches is right there. And now we need to center that. And 2 inches. So it's about 1 7/8, about where the center is. So that's my center mark right there. Now I'll mark the other side too. Go 2.5 inches in. And then this is same thing. 1 7/8 on that. So there's our center mark. All right. So now we got our center mark. Now we can go over and put it on a lathe, and we'll turn this around. And this will be my top part, and then this will be the base that I'll turn away. So let's go over to the lathe, and we'll get started on it. Hang tight. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this between centers to start with. And since this is going to be the base and that's going to be my top, I'm going to put my mark in that. Put that there. And I'll run this up right there. And make sure she's nice and flat. Okay. So then I just tighten her up. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn away this down to that. So I want to mark in there about kind of where I want to go with it. So let me grab the other pencil. It's a little bit, the lead's on it a little better. See my mark a little better. And let's see here. I'm going to go like that right there. Let's do it from this side then. All right. Just going to get a mark on that so that I got an idea of where I'm turning to. So I'll turn this away to make it to there. All right. So got that set up. And we're going to use our spindle gouge. Actually, I'm going to use my bowl gouge on that. Works better. All right, so let's get our PPE on and get set up to do it and go from there. So, my jacket, my schmuck on, and I'll be right back. Hang tight. All right, so here we are. We got our face shield on. And what we want to do is turn away this here, make a spigot so I can grab it, and we'll do that. All right, so here we go. All right. Make sure everything's tight. You got to turn out here. There'll be a lot of air. A lot of times I'm looking out here to see where I'm turning. You want to try to get this as flat as possible. Okay, let's see how we look here real quick. Okay, I'm right down to my mark on there. That looks good. And now I'm just going to clean all this up. I'm going to lower my tool rest and come up. So I'm doing a shear scrape out here. Bring my tool rest out so that I press my hand up here and you see where that's at. So I don't want to go past that edge. So let's put a piece of tape on that to show me where that line is. And then that'll give me that mark. All right. So I'm going to do is put a piece of tape on my tool rest here so I know not to go past that line. So let's hang tight here. All right, sorry about that. My wife came home and dog was raising Cain. So I just let her up there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a shear scrape. I'm going to clean this all up so it's clean, nice and clean. All right, see what that looks like. It's not bad. Got a little bit of a mark there. So I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to try this one here. Might be a little sharper. That's much better. Do a little hand sanding on that and that'll be good. Okay, so now I want to put a spigot on here so I can grab it with my chuck. So I'm moving my tool rest in. We're going to cut that in there. So all right, now I'll put my spigot on there, square it up. I gotta raise my tool rest. A little bit too low. A little bit too low. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. So now I got enough room to get my spigot on there, get my chuck, and let's, you know what, while I've got it, I'm going to clean this up just a hair more. Use my Bourbon, clean it up. That did any better? It's not bad. We can deal with that. We'll do a little sanding on that. Clean that up. In fact, I'm going to do that right now while I've got it set. Actually, I'll do that after a bit here. All right, so now we can turn around and put it on the chuck and get that set up. So hang tight and we'll be right back. All right, so we got it back reversed around. It's in the chuck. And I've got an 1 3/8 Forstner bit. And this is drilling out for the wood chips to set in. So I want to drill down about 3/8 of an inch, somewhere in that realm. I usually go down about the depth of this Forstner bit. And I got it set here. So I'm going to turn it right around 150, 200 RPMs. And just go slow. Just let her cut. And if you're doing cherry, you save the chips and you can use them for your for smoking. So a lot of times when I've sold these, I've always bagged up the chips for it and gave them to customers to use. So now I got like a 3/4 inch Forstner bit, and this is going to be where the screen sets. Let me grab you a screen and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Hang tight. All right, so here's their screen. This little screen will go inside of there, so we're going to drill our hole. We're going to go down just so the screen sets in there. It doesn't have to be very deep. So I usually go about 1/8 inch or so like that, just enough to get it in there. All right, that's all it takes. And the last thing we need to do is a hole for the smoke to go through. I'll drill that and then I'll show you the screen sitting in there so you see what it is. In fact, I'll just show you that right now, so that you see step by step what we got. Get this out of the way. Bring you around so you can see. All right, so there's this, that, and then this fits right in there like so, just like that. So now we got to drill a hole for the smoke to go through and go from there. I got to get that back out now because I can't drill through my screen. All right, let me grab a pick to get that out. There it is. All right, so now we just drill a hole right through the center of it, right there, and this is a 1/4 inch twist bit. Then I just want to drill through it, and there it is, it's through. So, all right, so there's our inside thing, everything's set right there. We're done with our drill. Let's get this out and we'll flip it around, and I'm going to put my other jaws on. I'm going to expand into that 1 3/8 hole so I can turn the back side. So hang tight and I'll flip it around and show you what we're next to. All right, so we're going to flip it around here and drill that out. Now the thing I got to worry about too is I got an 1 3/8 hole here, so I got to make sure that I don't go smaller than that. So I'm going to stick this on here. I'm going to expand into it, and I'm going to put my center, my live center back in, just for added support. Just to added support while I finish all this up. It's probably fine, but just to be on the safe side, we'll put that in there. Put that right there. And I'm going to give myself just a little bit more room. Push my tailstock back a little bit. All right. So 1 3/8 is, I don't want to watch that. So I'm going to measure and mark that with my calipers. I want to stay away from that edge. So I'm going to give myself about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to put a mark and make sure everything's spin and nothing hits anything and we're in good shape. So I'll stay within that right there, and that will be good. So I'll shape that, and let's go from there. Get my face shield back on, and make sure you can see what I'm doing. Yes, you can. All right, let's speed her up and straighten that edge out. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all this. And you could put a little groove in here if you say you're going to make this for a specific size glass. You can make that for that. You know, put a groove in there. I usually do them because I never know what size glass somebody's going to use. So I just kind of make them flat here. And do taper them just a hair. That'll help center it on the glass. Okay. I put my spindle gouge, and what I want to do is I'm going to drop my tool rest just a little bit. I taper this just a hair, just so it centers itself on the glass. Holds it in there better. Okay. Now I'll get my tailstock out and finish this piece off here. Like that. And all I'm going to do is clean this up. Okay. Okay, I got some marks in there I want to clean up with some sandpaper, and we'll go from there. So you don't want to watch me sand, so I will be right back, and we'll go from there. Hang tight. All right, so there we are. We got her sanded. Looks pretty good. Now let's take her off the chuck, and we'll finish it real quick. Alrighty, let's go over here and we'll put a coat of finish on it. So hang tight. All right, so what I got here is some coconut oil. I like to finish them with coconut oil because it's a food safe finish and it goes on real easy. Coconut is one of them ones that I guess people are, it's a nut, yes, but it's not a allergen nut. So people can, that are allergic to nuts, can use coconut oil. At least that's what I'm told. So I'm putting a good coat of coconut oil on it. And you don't want to use anything other really oils. Put a sealer on it like polyurethane because that'll give it a, you're going to put your whiskey in a bowl or a cup and smoke it. And it's, you just don't want to do that. So we'll let that dry for 1 second and I'll get a rag and we'll wipe it off. So hang tight. All right. So what I'm going to do is I left that set a little bit. I'm just going to kind of wipe off all the excess. And then I'll take it over and I'll put it on the laser, the X tool, and I'll engrave their name and I'll show you what I do. And you can make this piece down here smaller, bigger, but this piece would, with that in there, I didn't want to go too small because go through it. And it just adds stability on it, holds it up if it's smaller. Okay, so there it is. And like I said, here's the screen. That goes right in there like so. And just happen to have some shavings here, some cherry shavings. You put that in there like that. Put this over top of that, like so. And you got, obviously you put your whiskey in, this is just a plastic cup. You could use that, but you put your whiskey in the cup, put it in there, and then you take your torch. You can get one of the little propane ones or the little lighters. I wouldn't use a cigarette lighter because it's not strong enough, but here's just a regular torch. And you torch that, you fire it up, and you burn the chips. And as you're burning it, you're pushing the smoke down through that hole, and it goes into your whiskey. Save your whiskey and leave this on there, and it'll flavor your whiskey, give it a little smoke flavor. So that's kind of what it is, short, simple. This one, like I said, this is one I messed with for a client and drinks a lot of bourbon. So I did that, put that on there, but I'm going to put the North Coast Woodturners logo on one, and I'll make another one, and I'll put the Buckeye Woodturners right there and give that away to them when I do my demo in a couple weeks. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. It was short, I know, and it was fun to do. There again, please feel free to share, subscribe, like, and my name is Paul Courtwright. Thanks for stopping by for Wood Chip Woodworking. Have a good night.